The Mewtwo Tera raid event has driven the Pokemon community insane. You attempt it solo, and it's absolutely impossible. Mewtwo being able to Calm Mind multiple times in a turn off of your allies is downright unfair. So if you don't have local friends or Nintendo Switch Online, you are not completing this raid. Now, you and your friends get some Mews together, it's a part of the event, and then you get bodied. Then you realize you need one Tera type of Mew, so you get all of your bug shards together, you do some strategy, and then you lose a few more times while you get it down, and then magically the Mewtwo raid is free. So free that in less than 2 days, people are breakdancing on Mewtwo with a Magikarp. Corviknight can be a primary carry, and you only need one other human to complete the raid. That's 2 NPCs. That seemed absolutely impossible when the raid first came out. So let's see how Shadow Rider Calyrex does it. Wait a second, this also seems impossible. You can do all the strategy you want for Mewtwo. You are not KOing it through the shield, especially like an almost full health shield with no time remaining. Astral Barrage does damage, sure, but we're not... Huh? How? What? That doesn't... How did they do it? Well, fortunately, we have the Pokepaste and we can piece it together. So, little bit of defense investment, little bit of special defense. Rest goes into special attack. Snarl to keep the Mewtwo from getting way too strong. Nasty Plot, Astral Barrage, Substitute. Then we have Mud Slap, Fling, Helping Hand with a Landsat Berry. So you fling the Landsat Berry. You also have the Scope Lens to increase the chance of getting the crit. And there is an interesting observation with these one-shot builds, because if you're not breaking the shield, you don't have to worry about extra cleanses and resets from the Mewtwo. So you just kind of get your setup while it's doing the first couple of ones, and then you can stack up again and go for the big one-shot. Which also means you can't just fling super early. You have to like have it set towards like, alright, fling, Helping Hand, that's kind of going to be the finale. Maybe like fling Acid Spray to knock off some of Mewtwo's stats, then the Helping Hand once you're at that +6, once you know you're surviving. Substitute works really well with the Mud Slap, and then you just send it. And then we have Corviknight one-shotting, so Power Trip makes sense, but I didn't think it would ever be possible to get Corviknight to Power Trip through that much shield to one-shot this insane Mewtwo. Also, the selling point of this is that it was done with a level 5 Mew, but I personally consider that less impressive than a Corviknight one-shotting the Mewtwo in the end. How do we get here? Mewtwo boss status resets at 225. We trigger this early by having our level 5 Mew, Defense Cheer, get KO'd twice to knock the timer down. Support Corviknight, yeah, there's another Corviknight here, sets Light Screen and uses 1 Iron Defense. Mew spams Struggle Bug the entire fight, heal cheering when needed. Once the reset hits, the supporting Corviknight begins to spam Rock Smash to get Mew to -4 defense. And see, that's like the big thing. If you're not breaking the shields, you're only going to have to go through 1 reset. In a weird way, it makes the raid a lot more achievable because you can take the entire timer after that first cleanse as long as you can one-shot the Mewtwo. So the buffs that the attacking Corviknight need to hit to OHKO is +6 attack, +6 defense, +2 speed, 3 hits metronome, also unlock the Tera, and then you do an attack cheer and Helping Hand to get this much damage. It all comes together for a very nice 4 to 5 minute run where someone doesn't have to train their Mew at all. So yeah, the Mew is just there to defense cheer, keep getting KO'd, but then it can use the Helping Hand since that has priority on the final turn, and then you get the one shot. Everyone has to cheer as they see fit. Corv has to roost to maintain hit points, but it's pretty forgiving for mistakes. Just a lot of technicality to make sure you get into that one-shot range, but it can be done. And now let's talk about the Magikarp. Magikarp OHKO versus Mewtwo the Unrivaled. The impossible has been done. So there's the attack cheer into Tera Normal. Wait, we're not even using a super effective hit? How does Magikarp be, like, nah, this is a meme. It's going to end with, like, doing 1 damage, and then you're just gonna be like, yeah, Mewtwo's impossible. All that set up for nothing. So, Tera Normal, into the flail, low health Magikarp, dealing with a lot of base power, so we're going to see what happens here, and, yeah, it actually OHKOs the Mewtwo, and we find a crit. Okay, how? Rabska, Mirror Herb, Synchronize, Struggle Bug, Power Swap, Skill Swap, Tackle, Koraidon, Snarl, Rock Smash, Helping Hand, Azumarill, Soak, Mud Slap, Belly Drum, Fling, and then Magikarp with the Flail and the Splash. Strategy. Magikarp uses Defense Cheer to increase survivability and take a tactical KO. Rabsca uses Struggle Bug to lower special attack. Azumarill uses Soak on Koraidon to change its type to water, so that Koraidon does not take super effective hits from any moves. Alright, so now we're just getting into like the most absurd setup in tech. But if it works, it works. And then Koraidon starts using Snarl to lower the special attack. Magikarp uses Splash so that Mewtwo KOs it again, triggering Mewtwo's stat reset. It's like, once you get here, you're fine. So yeah, once Mewtwo's stat reset goes through, you just drop Mewtwo to nothing, and it's going to stay that way until you get the one-shot. And then once it cleanses you, you go to everything, so it stays that way, so you get the one-shot. That's the tech. That was the secret all along, was not getting overly scared by the timer and the shield of Mewtwo, and then understanding it's only one reset for it and you, and then you're free to move about the cabin. And then Azumarill gets accuracy to -6, Koraidon Rabsca Struggle Bug to get its special attack to -6, Koraidon uses Rock Smash to get its defense to -6, and then we see like all the other weird stuff coming in. Azumarill uses Fling to get the improved critical hit rate and boost speed by 1 via Rattled. Also Belly Drum. Rabsca then power swaps and skill swaps to move the huge power and +6 onto Magikarp, and then Magikarp does the flail. We get a helping hand, we get an attack cheer, and then it's actually enough to OHKO. So this isn't just a Terra Normal flailing Magikarp. It's a Terra Normal flailing Magikarp with +6 attack versus a -6 Mewtwo that also has huge power. And it also has the crit. But either way, it can be done. So it is kind of crazy to see the entire evolution of the Mewtwo raid going from impossible, pretty much impossible even with friends, to, well, if every random's just like spamming Struggle Bug, we can eventually get there. But I want to know what you guys think. Is the Mewtwo raid still just unacceptably hard, or do all of these alternative strategies kind of show that we just needed to give it some time? You actually need to be really creative and really coordinated to beat this Mewtwo raid, but it's not only like, oh, you have to have the Mew event and you have to have a specific Terra type of Mew. You can do a lot of other wacky things to make it happen. Or is the wackiness proof that the Mewtwo raid is too hard and that you shouldn't have to go through all of these hoops to beat an event in a kid's game? I'm not sure how to feel about this, because we just saw some Fan Fridays level creativity to conquer a PvE problem inside of Pokemon. That's awesome. But are you supposed to have to like search for those things to take out a Terra raid event now? I mean, I guess if that's what Game Freak wants, then you can't really be against the design philosophy. I just really want to see what Game Freak did to beat the Mewtwo Tera raid. I want, like, a breakdown of the testing and design behind this raid before I can make any kind of conclusion. My biggest problem is the unfairness of Calm Mind applying multiple times in a turn depending on if it's used against your allies. That just feels like a bug, not a feature. Not like, oh, we have this ultra mega buff Mewtwo that has the screw you gimmick of Chesto Resto when you think you've done the impossible to make it even more impossible. But then on top of that, it's like, no, this doesn't seem intended, or it seems like it needs to be patched if it can just Calm Mind 4 times a turn. I would feel better about creative solutions to the Mewtwo raid, or even like standard completion of the Mewtwo raid, if it actually felt fair. And still, even with this, a lot of players are struggling to beat the raid, some haven't done it, and it's just kind of like this thing where we have the most elite, the most insane strategy can take it out, but then the rest of like the casual community is having way too hard of a time, and I don't know what that means. Like, if someone can beat it, does that make it okay? Or does it need to be more accessible in general? Or is it just straight up bugged? So again, I'm kind of mixed. I want to know your thoughts on top of all that we just saw. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Thank you very much for watching.